Hello, if you liked my last two videos, you're going to love this at rinse.com. Another story by Jim Kirwan. He's another writer I've been following, and he's pretty well on target. TSA expands into VIPER, which is the bus stations and trains possibly coming next. The buses are now starting to happen. Oh yeah, you ride the buses now, you're a terrorist. Believe me, in America, this is just the visible intermodal protection and response teams that they have created. This oh, this is getting too big. It's getting too big and too great. You gotta see what they're up to now. TSA officials who spoke on the condition of anonymity said that the agency is expanding training for a limited group of screeners at other airports in preparation for the holiday travel season. These airports serve Los Angeles, Miami, Dallas, Fort Worth, Cincinnati, and Ohio, and New York City, Houston, Detroit, and Chicago. TSA spokesman Yolanda Clark said that the techniques include taking notice of high level of stress, anxiety, or deception. This is part of a larger effort to add more complex layers of security that cannot be manipulated by those seeking to do us harm. You know, the imaginary terrorists that don't even care about us anymore. They're too busy fighting over there in the other countries to care. Of course, more than a few people are stressed out by the prospect of flying on planes or even embarking on trains in close proximity to strangers. It appears to be only people employing deception will be the TSA undercover snoops. Ms. Clark's remarks are on more complex layers of security is telling. In fact, this security killing mental patients in Miami and chasing down and executing South American train commuters in London will eventually permeate into the entire society and will not be confined to airports and train stations. It's no coincidence that the local police are increasingly militarized and trained to consider the populace at large as the enemy. Federal officials said there is no new intelligence indicating that terrorists are interested in targeting transportation modes. See? I don't think so. But yet, you're the enemy. Rather, the Transportation Security Administration is trying to expand the role of air marshals, who have been eager to conduct surveillance activities beyond the aircraft and provide a beefed-up law enforcement presence at bus and train and public transit stations over the busy holiday period. In other words, the government admits there is no imminent terrorist event and thus no reason to turn airports and train stations and ferry docks into totalitarian microcosms. It should not be surprising that the federal officials are eager to conduct surveillance activities on populace at large. Of course, the eventual result of this will be a macrocosm of tyranny, not that the populace at large is particularly concerned because they are sufficiently conditioned to surrender their birthright liberties, the Constitution at the door, thanks to the Al-Qaeda Assad Osama and seven dwarfs fantastically plotting our demise from caves in Afghanistan, sort of a larger-than-life scary campfire story designed to frighten us into a quintessence, a population instructed to suspend critical evaluation and judgment. Yes, they're taking away your thought processes to question them. Finally, the TSA VIPER and a purpose title concept is a massive violation. The idea that local law enforcement will be responsible for their jurisdictions, and the next time some conservative tells you about the right of the states to manage their own business without federal intervention and bemoans big government, you can laugh in his face. But then, as David Adams, spokesman for the Federal Air Marshal Service, told Washington Post, sending out the spooks and thugs armed to kill mental patients and nervous people with dark skin is part of our responsibility to assist in non-aviation domain. The whole purpose of is that people will not know when they're going to be there or if they are going to be there. Is a preventative approach. And Orwell spoke of the same thing. Orwell, Big Brother, wanted you to know. He was watching always through the telescreen. Our telescreen is a work of progress. In the meantime, you will be advised to get used to being watched, to being evaluated, sized up, possibly chased down and liquidated, as was Rigoberto Alprez. This comes, number one, this comes from the 2005 story that is about to get a whole new life. See the ending segment of this video that I have also transcribed below. 2. Aside from anything else which the government acting on behalf of Israel is routinely doing to us at airports, now they have begun to target bus stations and possibly trains as well. The cost of these additional programs is astronomical, especially when anyone considers how deeply wounded both the economy and the public have become under the 10 long years of massively and purposely misguided leadership. There were just 2 issues with TSA. One was the loss of rights, and the second was the criminal behavior of its officers. With the expansion into VIPER now, the public can now look forward to an entire panoply of irregular and very serious threats from the government directed at what used to be public but which has now become just the target enemies of the U.S. and Israel governments. That would be the ordinary citizen of this place called America, a place that used to be a nation. Beginning at 7 minutes and 7 seconds into the video, what's next? We'll look first at all the flying is not right. It is a privilege. You don't have a right to fly. You don't have the right to travel. It's a privilege. I think the Constitution said other as far as the right to travel. The TSA literally believes they can make up their own laws. I am the law! I am the law! That was in a video. I'm telling you this now, where the guy was saying that she was screamed at, that she was saying, I am the law. The TSA. Congress and the White House apparently agree. It's the sort of security we've been at a lot of since 9/11 in places like airports, seaports, major sporting events, and now here at bus stations, to sort of invent the will in advance in case we have to, if ever, is the civic intelligence. Never has been before, so why would this suddenly begin now, requiring us to be here this way? This way, us and our partners are all ready to move at the moment's notice. What we're looking for are threats to national security as well as immigration law violations. We're also looking at one of our main initiatives, which is called cash smuggling. Yes, don't carry any more than a couple dollars in your pocket or you'll be considered a drug smuggler or an arms dealer or something. And so passengers ready to head towards Orlando, Jacksonville, and points north had to go through a series of checks. Suzu, a drug-sniffing dog, gave the bus his sniff test. It's all part of what Homeland Security calls VIPER, which is for visible, intermodal, protection, and response. Yeah, they're big on initials. And this effort, this team effort between TSA, ICE, PBB, and TPB, Tampa Police Department. It's ongoing for us, and we do this every day. So much for 2005 story about VIPER has been reborn and funded. Imagine showing up at the airport and being handed a little device, a bracelet that would serve as your boarding pass. It would track your lost luggage, and it would also shock you with a taser phase. Ooh, you were the same power of a taser if you get out of line. And a top official with the Department of Homeland Security, name not provided, has expressed interest in these so-called safety bracelets. So is this really the future of air travel? This is part of the video on my last video of the Brass TV video. So you people keep up with this. Enough is enough. Fire John Presto, administration of TSA, fire Janet Napolitano, Secretary of Homeland Security, dismantle Department of Homeland Security, and in the meantime, stop flying. I read that to you earlier, but this is what they're going for. Go to this website. I'll have a link of it at the bottom of this video. When if ever, it was public going to be clued about this expansion of absolutely failed TSA program that has to date not stopped anything from ever happening, who is going to pay in the middle of this depression for the massive increase in bogus security without end? Damn it! America, is there nothing that you won't just continue to tolerate? Watch the whole 9-minute video. Then ask yourself just when it was that you signed up to be a plaything for perverts in uniform, deviants with dreams of power that can literally do anything they want to you, from grabbing you out of line and beating you senseless for no reason at all the way to forcing you to stand in your underwear before an entire terminal full of strangers because you have a prosthetic that Homeland Security refuses to acknowledge. Israel applauds and is enriched by these things that we are doing to our own citizens at their direction, and without our permission, in direct violation of the First and Fourth Amendments to the Constitution that is now, as George Bush said, just a goddamn piece of paper. George is now joined with Henry Kissinger, the butcher of the East Timor, and other places, to becoming a war criminal that cannot leave the country because both Bush and Kissinger are wanted by the Hague for war crimes and crimes against humanity. But hey, do you really care? If you like TSA, you're going to love VIPER. And here's some more links that you can check on. I'm telling you, this is a follow-up. I'm going to link this video to the previous video about the TSA and how they became Nazis, and you will just gonna love this. These people are control freaks, out of control. The TSA has been told, I'm the power, I'm the power. You gotta watch that video. And the last video I did, this backlink from this link to the video before that I linked this to. I'm going to link this to that video, and you're going to be able to go back and go, hey, you're right. We're being treated like we're some type of Jews and gypsies and whatever else was in Nazi Germany. We're being treated that way. Well, until you wake up, this is Spellbinder saying, wake up or become a slave. Roll over and have your gut slit open. That's what they want. Until next time, be good, or be good at it and not get caught by these fiendish creatures. Do not fly. Do not ride the buses. Do not even take the trains anymore. Boycott them. Make them know that they are doing wrong. And shut them down if it takes that. Good day.